What's up with it? It's your boy OT, and you are now tuned into
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Like, subscribe, and follow wherever you get your podcast from.
That's right, Otis. Whatever you say, Otis.
Now let's get into it.
Y'all ain't stupid. They coming to see me.
So let's get into it. On this topic, we're talking about mental health disorders, just different types. Not saying psycho crazy going to, DePaul and all that. We just really talking about like everyday, normal, common types of mental health disorders. Number 1 is depression. Number 2 is panic disorder. Number 3 is schizophrenia. 4 is post-traumatic stress and also postpartum. 5, bipolar. 6, dementia. And 7, phobias. Now, these are just some common ones that I guess everybody experiences every day. Maybe you don't know you have them, but everybody has a little mental health disorder. Because I know I'm a little crazy. I know I play a lot and I know I joke a lot. But sometimes when I'm at work, I don't feel like working, or sometimes I don't even feel like going in because I just don't feel like being around people or talking to people or just dealing with anybody. And so it's just sometimes life can get hard, and people, I think we take it lightly when you hear somebody say, "Oh, I'm taking a mental health day." And maybe they really are taking off to go do something that makes them happy, but at the end of the day, they're taking away, they're doing something that is causing them less stress than being at this job, like whatever it may be. So, today I have a very special friend. Her name is Crystal Busby.
Oh, God. Hello.
Hello, Crystal.
Hello, Otis.
And she's here to discuss this topic with me because apparently I made her cry one time.
Yeah, you did.
And I don't and I didn't really know. And she had to break it down for me. And y'all, I ain't gonna lie to you, I was a little hurt because I'm like, that's what my ass get because I play too fucking much.
You didn't even know that you made me cry though until right now.
I know.
So how you weren't hurt at the time because you didn't know.
I'm hurt now.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. I'm hurt now because it's like I didn't know. So whatever it was I did, I really do truly apologize. But yeah, tell me what my stupid ass did though.
Okay, so basically we were texting and we were talking about how I don't come around as much. First of all, I was very pregnant. Okay.
I remember.
Yes. So I was very pregnant and we were texting about how I don't come around. I don't hang out with my friends. I'm not a good friend because I don't hang out with my friends. That I make plans and I don't go to them and stuff like that. And I tried to explain to you, first of all, I'm very pregnant. Second of all, I suffer from depression, anxiety, those types of situations that make you not want to do those things sometimes. And you basically downplayed that and said, "Oh, no, that's not blah, blah, blah. That's not an excuse. Like, no, you're just a bad friend. Don't make excuses for being a bad friend." And yeah, and you made me cry. And I texted our other mutual friend and said, "Can you please explain to him the type of person that I am with my mental disorders because he doesn't get it." So yeah, you made me cry.
Dang. Y'all hear that, people? Like I'm genuinely hurt. Like for real. Like I mean, I'm still gonna throw my little joke.
I know, yeah, but that's what we're here for, is to talk about it and get it out there and educate it, so that other people do not make that same mistake and
don't
make
do
somebody cry.
What I did. But okay, well, what was it like? What was it like really that made you cry? Was it the fact that I'm like, okay? Was it the fact that
okay, go ahead.
It's so we like, okay, you're supposed to be my friend, and you saying you talking this shit, but like I talk shit, but it's like I was kind of serious. I'm like, you know what, like, cause you had a whole Game of Thrones little shindig, and boy, you ain't tag me, you ain't say nothing. I don't even watch Game of Thrones, people, but still, I was being petty on that one. But still, it was just like you would do little things. Yes, you were very much pregnant, but I'm like, we still your friends. Like,
I know.
you know.
Well, I think for me, the thing that I think made me cry was the fact that I didn't know you were joking, for one. But I know we do joke and stuff, but it can be misconstrued over text message. So I feel like at the time I was like, damn, like he really laying into me. Like, and it really honestly made my depression and anxiety like skyrocket, because I was like, damn, maybe I am a shitty friend. Like, and then not only that, your last podcast about shitty relationships and stuff, like I replayed that like conversation in my head, and I was like, damn, was he throwing slugs at me like in his last podcast?
No.
Am I a shitty friend? Because he's told me before I'm a shitty friend. So I
think I done told a couple of friends they shitty friends, but everybody be shitty in a different way. But no, it wasn't that. It was just like, I just remember, you know, I met you through at working, and like we became cool, and I'm like, shit, you my friend. Like, why have you distanced yourself? But I had to learn that, like, okay, sometimes like you just want to hang around the group of people you want to hang around, and that doesn't mean that, oh, we're not friends or you don't want to talk to me. It's just like, shit, this is my space, and like we have our space. So, you know, that's something that I had to learn. So I like.
Well, not only that, when you're pregnant, there's not a lot of things that you want to, you know, you can't go out and drink and do so, you know, like stuff that you would normally do when you're not pregnant. So it's like,
I mean, I wouldn't know because I can never be pregnant, but
yeah, well,
I mean, dang, like that's crazy. So, what is like? I'm gonna say what depression is in my eyes, and then you tell me if I'm right or wrong.
Go for it.
To me, like, because I feel like I was depressed at one point in my life. Like, it's like I didn't want to move. I didn't want to do nothing. Like, my basically my senior year, I failed the tax test at the time. Kept failing it by 1 point, math portion, 1 point, 1 point.
Oh, same.
Like, so finally, I got tired of it, and I just got my GED. A lot of people don't know that. Shout out to me. Got my GED.
Shout out to you.
You know, still went to college and all that. You know, but I got tired of it, but before I did that, I laid in bed. I wasn't working out. I wasn't doing nothing. Like, I didn't want to do nothing. Didn't want to be around people, and like I just barely ate. Like, you know, I would eat, but I didn't. I listen here. It's like nothing. Nobody could tell me like get up. It had to be something from within, and so to me that's what depression is. It's the like knowing that I can get up and move around, but you know what, my body and my mind won't even let me move.
Well, see, for people with depression, it's like that all the time, like almost all day, every day for like your whole life.
But why?
I don't know. It's just like, it's just something like, but you do at some point have to find it within yourself. Like, hello, I have 2 kids. I have a job. I have to provide for them. But some people, they can't even pull that out of themselves. Like some people will lay in bed all day. Like me, I just personally, I can't because I have kids, obviously, that need me.
And you got 1,000 thoughts running.
I got what?
You got 1,000 thoughts running, so you gotta go. You gotta be on the move.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Well, that's a whole nother disorder. So, but yeah, I mean, like it's like that all the time. So it's like, yeah, and like congrats to you for pulling yourself out of that, and now you're out of that. Some people have depressing moments in their life that make them depressed, but some people have that all the time. Like there can be nothing that we go through. Like no kind of situation and just feel that way. But we don't know why. Like there's no specific reasons.
No rhyme, So
it's just there.
Have you ever heard of seasonal depression?
I have actually.
I actually was researching that, and me and my brother were talking about it. That I mean, it's crazy, but it can happen because people pass away and people do things, and it's like you used to spend all this time with them on these holidays, and that's when it comes into play. It's like, do you feel like depression is something that you can ultimately overcome, or is it something that you have?
I mean, we basically overcome it every day when we get up and live life, basically. I mean, and you can go to, doctors and get medication to maybe help with that. I mean, me personally, I don't take any medication. And that's only because I've never really had insurance to go to a doctor or anything like that. But if I did, I mean, I would take it because, I mean, sometimes you need it. But I mean, some people, they can just, do that. But
that's crazy. Like, I mean, I think to myself, like, if I woke up every day, I mean, I guess in this slump, I don't want to call it depression because, I mean, depression just sounds deep, like you deep down into something. So it's just like every time you wake up in this funk, it's like it's something that you can't shake. Because I remember, like you were telling me, like, it's not something that I can just I'm better and it's over and done with. No, this is something that, like, I guess, like, it's still, everybody hears those little voices. I don't care what they say. Like, it's your intuition. It's you telling you, oh, I can do this, or it's you telling you can't do it.
Yep.
Based off, but do you think some of that streams from, like, and I'm not like saying you, but do you think like a lot of it streams from childhood? Like a lot of times?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I think, well, a lot of the stuff they say is like hereditary, and it can be just like chemical imbalances in your brain, and you can be born with it and stuff like that. But I also think that, I mean, like, childhood trauma can definitely like attribute to that. And that's why in your last podcast, I was yelling at my radio because you were talking about, not blaming, how your actions are now on your childhood, but like some of us can't help that. Like, I mean, we could, I mean, we can. I mean, like I said, with medication and stuff like that, it can lighten the blow and help. But I mean, childhood trauma, I think definitely combined with a chemical imbalance is,
so it's
you're
more
basically
like
set up for disaster already.
Yeah, it's more like a condition thing. It's like this is how I grew up. This is what I know, and it's like, you're telling me that ain't right or this and that, but this is all I know because I talked to somebody and I feel like they made me feel like something was wrong with me, but deep down inside it was like really them because it's just like. They would always say, well, this is how I grown up. This is the way I've been doing it my whole life. So I'm not changing it. And I guess that's what y'all telling yourselves. Or I guess that's what we tell ourselves. Like, so I ain't gonna say.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's an excuse to be a shitty person. Like, from your last podcast. No, it's not an excuse to be a shitty person. But at the same time, like, sometimes we really cannot help it. Like, it's just.
It's like you don't know you're doing it.
Yeah, kind of. Sometimes, I mean, we're just so used to it, and it's just a part of our everyday lives. It's something that we deal with, so it's like it's just there.
I'm retarded too, so just shout out to people. So, hey, when I say it like that, that is not politically correct, and I apologize. But when I say it like that, I say it in a loving, kind way because, I have family members, or I had a friend like that was. What is the term? It's autistic.
Yes.
But they are some of the smartest people.
Oh, yeah.
That you will meet. Like, I had this one friend, everybody shout out to Cricket. It's like, if you knew this dude, you knew, like, he gonna dance, he gonna have fun, he gonna do this, but he could talk to you and have whole complete sentences. Like, sometimes I think we get it misconstrued that, oh, this person has a mental disorder or this and that, so that makes them special needs or whatever. But even some of those special need kids, because to be honest with y'all, I wanted to be a child psychologist and I wanted to work with like children of that spectrum because I feel like, they have a learning disability, but they learn differently. But who's to say that you can't bring that out of them, like in a way that, makes them like stand out? Like, look at Robert. Is it Robert Hawking in a wheelchair? He be like typing it like for real.
I don't know if his name is Robert, but I know who you're talking about.
Robert Hawk, Hawk. He be typing his words on the computer. Like, it sounds funny, but it's just like he can't move nothing like that. Yeah. But he can move his hand enough to let you know I'm still here. I can think. I can do all this. Like,
for sure.
So it's like I feel like we downplay that sometimes. Like, oh, we treat people differently when they say, "Oh, I'm depressed," and a person like me sometimes be like, man, just get up, just get over it.
Well, yeah, and that's what I was gonna say was like, I know growing up, like in the Hispanic culture, because not many people know, but I am half Hispanic, And
real?
yes, you didn't know that.
What's your last name?
Don't. It's like my dad's white. Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's
Well,
my mom. Okay. Anyways,
what's her last name?
Gonzalez.
Ooh.
Well, that was her born name. Now
Maiden.
it's Miranda, but yeah, her maiden name, whatever. All right. Anyway, so, but growing up in a Hispanic household, like in my teenage years, like basically, like I didn't know it was depression at the time. I kind of, learned that as I was growing, but at the time, like, I would be like, man, like something doesn't feel right. Like, I don't want to get up. I don't want to do this. I don't do that. And, like they want you to be like clean and, always wanting to cook and do chores and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't want to do that shit. So, but I didn't, I didn't think it was like, oh, because I'm being a rebellious teenager. I really was like, something is wrong with me. Like, and the first time I ever brought it to my family, like, I think I'm depressed. It was the first time I'd ever heard the word.
Yeah.
And I basically was like, I think I'm depressed. I read it and I was like, man, like this list, check, 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 like that's me.
Mm-hmm.
And, they were just like, oh no, like you're just being lazy. Like you don't want to do it, like making excuses. Yeah. And so then I'm like, well, damn, like, am I lazy? Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like that is a thing that people do portray it as like,
it's a lazy thing.
Yeah, like
you're
no,
not
you're
depressed,
not
just
depressed,
lazy.
you're just lazy. And then, or like you're just using depression as an excuse to like get out of stuff or not do something or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like society does do that.
We got to stop doing it. I know I especially do because,
Because you make people cry.
I can admit when I'm wrong. I can definitely admit when I'm wrong. But you know what? I apologize. But yeah, it's just crazy because I've always downplayed it until like moments like this. Because it's just like, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know how it feels. And it's like sometimes, but I like, if you don't say nothing, if you never said nothing, I would never know.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you for saying something like you brought awareness to me because it's just like, I probably would have kept going.
I know you would have.
And I would have fucking kept going and it would have just been like, damn, nigga, you done crushed all my whole self-esteem, my hopes, my dreams,
Well,
everything.
that depression and crying would have turned to anger and I probably would have cussed you out at some point.
I would have been like, where is this coming from? You remember when you said?
Yeah.
Like,
I would have went, if it would have kept going, I would have went off. And that's why I had to get that third party involved because I was like,
back the fuck back.
yeah, talk to him because I'm finna rip him up.
She's like, she's mad at you. I'm like, what did I do? I just said the truth. But maybe it wasn't the truth.
With what you thought was the truth.
Exactly.
Okay.
But the truth to set you free.
Yeah. Well, no, but what I was going to say earlier when you were talking about like childhood stuff, when we were touching on that also goes into one of the other mental illnesses that you mentioned in the beginning, which was PTSD. So PTSD can also come from childhood trauma as well. But I mean, it's mostly also from like situations that, like victims of abuse or mental abuse, stuff like that can go into
So what?
PTSD.
Okay, like I know what it stands for.
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
Okay, but what is it like? What like? How is it triggered? Let me ask you that.
I mean, really, it just pertains to the situation. So, like for example, something very traumatic would happen to someone. Maybe a female was raped. And there's like maybe certain things that happened to her in that rape. So if something similar is to happen to her, even if she's like, maybe it was a boyfriend in a relationship that did that to her. So then say she gets in a healthy relationship. So if something like maybe they're trying to take their relationship to the next level and it's, it's going to get bound chicka wow wow. Okay. So it's going to get to that level. And maybe he touches her a certain way that reminds, it may not even really be aggressive, but I'm just saying, like, you're laughing, but I'm being serious.
I know you being serious because he touched her in a way that reminds her of that,
it might remind her
situation.
of that traumatic situation that happened to her, and it'll trigger, and then it's just not.
The reason why I'm laughing because I have to explain myself because we talking about such a touchy topic. Is because I picture myself if I did. I'd be like, girl, what the fuck? Like, what's wrong? Like, and Because you don't, because he's not going to know what the fuck going on. So
yeah.
he's gonna be like,
I mean,
what?
unless you've already had that conversation in the beginning of your relationship, you're not going to know. And then that's not your fault. I mean, it's not her fault either. I mean, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, like, if she hasn't already felt comfortable enough with you to tell you that, then, you're not going to know. So it is going to be weird to you in that situation. Like, you can be like, what the hell did I just do? Like, I thought I was being loving, like.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to be like, it's weird. But not knowing, like, hey, this shit happened to me.
Yeah,
so.
but I mean, like, and that's why it's good to spread awareness, because some people may be dealing with that situation right now. Mm-hmm. A man or something is dealing with that, like, damn, my girl's tripping. And I'm like, no, like, take the time maybe to talk to her and try to bring it out and see if maybe she will tell you, what's happened to her.
Can I ask you a question? Like, and I want to know, like, your honest opinion on this. Like, seriously.
Put me on the spot. Go ahead.
What is the number one reason, like, you think a person does not speak up when they are raped or touched inappropriate or something inappropriate happens? Like, what's the number one reason they don't go right then and there and say something?
I think for me as a woman, in my personal experience, probably, I think that sometimes people don't believe them. Like in today's society, especially, like you have people coming out years and years later of saying like this person or this celebrity touched me like years ago. And I see people ripping them on the internet like, well, why didn't they say something then? And blah, 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 blah. But you don't understand, like some people have a lot of power for one thing. Yeah. They can shut you up. They can make you look crazy. And as a woman in today's society, they can be like, well, she asked for it, or like she was dressing a certain way. I mean, first of all, you can say no to anybody. Like, yeah. And I don't understand when people say like, well, first of all, even if a woman is making out with you and it's going to that point. Yeah. And you think it's about to go there and then she stops you and she says no. She is no. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. That means no. And some people will, and it doesn't even have to be rape, but like some guys will like guilt you into eventually. That is eventually, rape. Yeah. And
they mind fucking you. Think, well, you led me on to believe X, Y, and Z.
Exactly. So now, but I mean, they'll also like guilt trip you and try to manipulate you into going to that next step to where you feel like you have to do it. You know what I mean? So like, if you go to somebody's house to hang out, and they have that intention of, oh, y'all are going to have sex. And the girl's like, well, that's not my intention. But you end up having sex with them anyway. You know what I mean? Like, that's still technically, like, rape. You know what I mean? Or in some form. And so, but back to I'm getting off topic. But back to the original thing. Like, yeah, like, I think a lot of people are scared because nobody really believes us when stuff like that happens.
It's just like they lying, like.
Yeah. Or like I said, they asked for it. Or like, oh, well, she wore this, like, mini skirt, like, she wanted it. You know what I mean? Like, no, fuck that.
I feel you. Because, I mean, I feel like as a female, you should still be able to dress provocative without a man or one man nowadays. Yeah. Like, groping you and making you feel like some type of way just because, oh, you wore this, because that's a mind game in itself to make you think, oh, well, you deserved it because X, Y, and Z. No, like, I don't feel like nothing puts a man or anybody in position to like touch a person without their consent. Yeah. So I just be these are things I wondered that I don't know and I can't like answer for myself. Yeah, like, so the reason, that's why I asked. And the one you were talking about, postpartum.
Oh yes, that's actually a form of depression. That's not part of post-traumatic stress disorder. But you can have post-traumatic stress disorder from giving birth. Like some people do have that, like if it's a very traumatic birth, or something like that, like that can trigger that as well. But postpartum is technically part of depression. People who don't suffer from depression regularly can get postpartum depression. Like you can never be depressed a day in your life and get postpartum depression. Or if you are already depressed, it can make it like a tenfold. And that's mostly just because of our hormones, and they're raging, basically trying to get back to normal from the pregnancy, lack of sleep. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things that go on. You may feel like you don't have enough help from your partner or, baby daddy or whatever. So, or your husband, what I mean? Whoever. But I mean, it can be lots of things that can give you postpartum. And basically, I mean, it can come in many forms. You can, resent your child. Like it sucks,
How?
but you can. I mean, I don't know. You just can. I mean,
Like,
some
you
people,
little motherfucker, why you here?
yeah. Well, I mean, you can basically be like, some people will be like, damn, like, why did you do this? My body's all jacked up now and my hormones are all like, I'm crazy. And it's like, you did this to me. You know what I mean? Like, some people think like that. Or in my case, my personal experience, not with my last one, shout out to Lila, little Lila. She'll be 2 months tomorrow.
2 months. She looked just like me.
Boy. Anyways, and then, no, but with Lily, shout out to Lily. She'll be 7 this year. My big girl.
Yeah.
But anyways, it happened after her, which I already suffer from depression, but with her, it was really bad. And mostly it was because I was a first time mom. And it was basically just like, I don't think I can do this. Like, I'm already, jacked up in the mind. Like, how am I going to raise another kid? I mean, a kid. Like, I guess I was going to say, how am I going to raise another human being, basically?
Yeah.
But like, how am I going to bring this girl up into the world, and not subject her to things that I was subjected to as a child? Like, I don't want her to ever have to deal with certain stuff. I don't ever want her to have to deal with mental illness and stuff like that. And then you're thinking like, well, if it's genetic, is she going to have everything that I have wrong with me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there's times where, with my personal mental illnesses is like, I never feel like I'm good enough at anything. And that is also part of my anxiety. And so it's like, am I doing a good job? And I still do this to this day. Like, she's 7 years old. And my mom constantly has to tell me, like, you're doing a good job. Like, you're a damn good mom, and she tells
you are.
But that's the thing. It's like mental illness. You don't feel that. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't feel it. And
You don't feel like you're going hard enough?
Basically, I guess. But
don't she got a roof over her head?
She does. And
she got food, clothes,
yes. And she is.
Transportation?
Yes. And she's like, has structure and she's very smart. She gets A's and B's and like all this good shit. You know what I mean? But when you really like deep down into yourself, you're like, it's not good enough. It's just not.
And that's what's crazy to me. Like, what do you mean?
I know. And that's what I'm saying. Like, and my mom, like, she tells me like, you're a damn better mom than I ever was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she tells me that all the time. And I'm just like, even when I hear it, I mean, I say thank you and I'm like, oh, yeah, thank you. I needed that. But at the end of the day, like, I don't believe it. And that's just my thing.
But like, what is there not to believe? Like, what are you not believing? Like, what are you not doing that you think you should be doing?
Maybe she should have a bigger house than what she has. Maybe she should have more food than what she's eating. Maybe she should have Nikes instead of fucking Walmart Crocs. Like, I don't know. It's just like dumb shit like that just pops up, and you know what I mean? It's like maybe, and then it's like, well, shit, I wish I could take her to Disney World like all these other kids.
I think that's society, but yes, I think everybody should go to Disney World. But I ain't gonna lie to you. But I think that's society. It makes you, like, at the end of the day, my mom always said, you can't live beyond your means. Mm-hmm. Basically, like, you can get to a point where you can take her to Disneyland. Like, all you gotta do is save up or whatever, Yeah. But don't doubt yourself or don't beat yourself up, because you got to look at you really do have to look at the little small things. Like, she don't want for nothing. Yeah. She got food, she got clothes, she eat, she has a stable environment that she comes home, and it's not like she's going here, she's going there, she's going here. She comes back to you every day. So it's just like, you got to congratulate yourself for some things, even though you sit there and tell yourself, no, like, I'm not doing enough. Like, you got to be doing enough, because it's some people out here don't even take care of their kids. Yeah.
Well, and I think that also comes from, like I said earlier, of like me not feeling like I'm not good enough myself personally, like in everything else, and how I felt that way about myself before I became a mother. And so it's like, now I feel like I project that into my parenting. So it's like, I already felt like I wasn't a good enough worker or a good enough daughter or a good enough whatever. And so it's like, now that I'm a mother, like, it just adds that, like, let's just throw that in the pot. Like, oh, well, now I'm not a good mother. You know what I mean? So it's like,
you're stirring the goddamn pot. Like, damn, it got to put some seasoning in it.
Some Flavor gods.
Yes, it's something you can't sit there and beat yourself up about everything. But then, like you say, like I guess that's just how things work for some people because everybody's not the same. Like I mean, but I get that because sometimes, like as energetic as you know me to be, sometimes I have days where I feel out of it, like, and people will tell me like you ain't acting like yourself. Like
I know, I've worked with you.
Exactly. Like, so
I've
seen like, and
I've seen you in some of those days.
You be like, you're making me sad. Like, how the hell am I making you sad? Like, cause you're not talking, you're not saying, like, you're not doing what you usually do. And I'm like,
like I came to joke, and you like, no, you ain't trying to hear it that day.
There you go. See, now I can say I understand where you come from sometimes because it's just like, shit. Sometimes I don't feel like it. And it's not that I don't want to. Like, I wanted to when I woke up, but it's just like, I know. I remember that day.
Well, see, and basically, like I said earlier, like, that's how we feel every day. And it's like, basically, all the stuff that we, like, when we are out in the world, we're wearing a mask, basically. So it's like, for real.
Why?
I don't know. It's basically like, I have to go out and I don't want people to know how depressed I really am. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want people to know like how shitty I really feel on a daily basis. So it's like, I'm going to show up to work and I'm going to be the loudest, craziest, like funny, like ha 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 in your face laughing and shit. But it's like really when it comes down to it, like, no, like when I'm by myself, like that's not what I do.
We used to have fun at work. I don't care. I think we used to get in trouble.
Well,
but I mean,
that's another topic.
I just like, I guess my thing for some people, I just wish like they would speak up more. Like, I feel like it takes a brave person to speak up and like, you came on here and I appreciate it. Like, you're actually talking about it and people are scared to like tell somebody about it or go get help. And I feel like everybody should go have a therapy session. Yes. I don't care who you are. I don't care like what you've been through. Like, I feel like everybody needs somebody or go find somebody you can just like really trust and talk to. But I feel like that's underrated. Seeing the therapist because you hear, you're seeing a therapist, you must be crazy. No.
Well, and like when you said to Paul, like, they automatically think like just because I'm seeing a therapist, my ass needs to be locked up. Like, no, that's not the case.
No. The thing is, this is a statistic. Only 10% of the world are active listeners. That means 90% of people do not listen to what you're saying.
Oh yeah.
When you sitting there have a conversation with them, they're not sitting there digesting and really taking in what you're saying. They're just sitting there. They're just listening.
I believe that.
Like
I'm part of that 90%.
They hear you, but they're not listening. They can you said, but you're not digesting it. Yeah. And I think that plays a part. Like sometimes you really need to hear what a person is saying. Like get in your head. You're a good mother. You're doing a great job. Like
thank you for the words of affirmation.
Hey, it's coming. Shout out to it. But yeah, it's just you have to put in your mind, like you say, every day, y'all wake up and it's like, I keep saying y'all, excuse me, but people wake up.
Yeah.
No, because it's like, it's me too. Sometimes people wake up and it's like, I got to put on this happy face. Mm-hmm. Like if I'm about to be working for who I'm about to be working for, like I have to put on a working face. Yeah. Every single day, like a happy chipper, like
Well, yeah, and especially in that line of work too, you can't be like,
I don't want to talk today.
Yeah, like, you gotta be smiley and happy and inviting.
But it's like I have good customer service, so
I do too. Surprisingly, I do too.
Well, you really do. But I like talking to people because if I don't know you, I can have a better conversation with you than if I knew you.
And see, and then that's where my anxiety plays in because I do not like talking to people that I do not know. Like I can't stand it. Okay, first of all, I can do it if I'm getting paid for it. Customer service.
Yeah.
But that can touch on, and we can go into anxiety now, I guess. But like growing up, my mom can tell you like I wouldn't even order my own food at a drive-thru, and it's because I just had so much anxiety talking to other people, like talking to people.
But what is it? Like, what created?
I don't know. I don't know what created it. It was just like one day we.
No. I'm saying I know anxiety is the things like it's like you just thinking all these thoughts in your head, like, what if this person thinks this?
Yes. Okay. So basically, I'll just give you a few, maybe like, I guess, examples of anxiety. It can be you're in a room full of people, and for some reason there's two people like whispering over in the corner. Like they could be talking about the fucking weather or who won the football game or something like that. Mm-hmm. But in an anxiety person's mind, them motherfuckers over there talking about me. Like, are they talking about my outfit? Or are they talking about my hair? Like, they're talking about me, and they're not. You know what I mean? And like, I have to tell myself that sometimes, like, you're not that important. Like, they're not talking about you. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
Yes, but that's just an example. Or, like about the anxiety thing, as far as like ordering and not talking to people and stuff like that. Even to this day, like sometimes, like if I have to call like Lily or Lila's doctor, or I have to set up an appointment or something like that, for the longest time, like I wouldn't make, but I would ask my mom, like, can you please call them for me? Like, I don't want to talk to them. Like, I would get really shy and like, I don't want to talk to them. And my mom would be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, they don't know you, you know, like she would tell me like, they don't know you from Adam. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to think nothing about you. Like people call them 20 times a day. Like you know what I mean? Like they don't even know you. Like just call them, say what the fuck you got to say and hang up. And I'd be like, no, I can't. Like, what if they think I'm stupid? Or what if I stumble when I'm asking my questions? Or, you know what I mean? Like just stupid shit like that. And it's like, I don't know where it comes from. It's just there.
Yeah.
And you just get like this, I get like this nervous feeling. It's like I get this pit in my stomach. It's like I feel like I want to throw up. Like it's just like it's a whole thing. I'm working
overwhelming.
on it. It is, and it's a work in progress. I mean, obviously, I had to grow up a little bit because I have 2 kids now. So there is stuff that I have to force myself to do. But yeah, it's like it can be crippling to some. I mean, there's some people that can't even go outside. Like, I think it's called, like, agoraphobia or something like that. Don't quote me on that.
Phobia, see?
Phobia. Yeah, don't quote me on that, but I think it's called agoraphobia. But, yeah, there's some people that are, like, scared to, like, even leave their house. Like, it's crazy.
But how can you be scared to leave your house if at one point you had to go in the house?
I don't know.
You had to go in the house at one point in time.
That's like when did the chicken lay the egg or something?
Like when did you looked outside one day and said, you know what?
Maybe they were born in that house and they never left. I don't know.
That sounds like they got locked in the closet.
Yeah, no, I don't know how that exactly works, but yeah, I mean there is some people that do that, or they're and there's claustrophobia. I have that as well. I don't like that. I don't like that shit at all. Yes,
I can say I got that one because I
don't like that. I just feel like I can't breathe. But yeah, so I mean, there's lots of phobias like that that create anxiety, and so like even like job interviews, like stuff like that. Like I just get really like panic. Like I mean, and it's bad. Like it'll get really bad if it's something big like that, like a job interview.
So you had a panic attack before?
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's basically just like you feel like the world is closing in on you. I'll get like hyperventilation and crying and like stuff like that. Like it can get really bad, panic attacks. Yeah, for sure.
Like, I feel like some of them, like, okay, for instance, anxiety and phobias would be together.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because your phobias can ultimately cause anxiety. I mean, the symptoms of it. What? I
said you gotta go. Time to wrap it up.
No, I was just like, what time
I just asked the question.
Damn. Okay, first of all, my watch is dead, so I couldn't see what time it was.
Oh, my bad. Hey, yeah. I just was asking. I ain't trying to hold you up.
No, we're good. Go ahead.
Oh, but okay, so yeah, I think phobias and anxiety would go hand in hand because it's just like. If you have a phobia, you're gonna get anxiety from that shit. Like if you're in a fucking tight ass space, claustrophobic, you're gonna have
you're gonna hyperventilate, and that's anxiety.
Panic attack. Yeah. So I think I think some of them just kind of coexist.
They all
with
kind,
the,
yeah, they do. They all kind of coexist together.
not schizophrenia though. I had,
No.
I knew a person who was schizophrenic.
See, I don't know anybody, but there's another one that wasn't on there was bipolar disorder.
Ooh, I think a lot of people got that.
Oh, I definitely have that.
I think a lot of people got that.
But I mean, I don't know the specifics of it, so I'm not really going to touch on it. But I do know there is like, they basically have manic episodes and then really deep depressive like episodes. That's like pretty much all I know about it. I've never researched it that much. Manic. Yes, not mantic.
What's the difference?
I don't know. I don't know what mantic is. I know what manic is.
Manic is crazy.
No, manic is just like.
So I think that's what mantic is.
Okay, well,
I could be making up
I just know some examples for like manic, bipolar is like people like some people will do really big like shopping sprees when they don't really have the money for it, or like just like off the whim, like go on a crazy like trip or something like that, and then or like, oh yeah, like life is great, like woohoo, party all the time, you know what I mean? And then it'll switch to like this down deep depression of like, I don't want to live anymore. I mean, it can go from like that to like that.
Hell no. Like, I mean, see, I don't, I love myself. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could off myself because I feel like I don't like pain. Like,
Well, and to be honest, I think that's a lot of the reasons why, and I don't want to put too much out there about myself, but I feel like a lot of people that have either thought about suicide or, and haven't been successful or haven't done it is because they're scared. And I feel like
good, because y'all don't need to. It don't need to happen. Shit, you should be.
But I'm just saying, like, I think a lot of they don't think about, or me personally, like I don't think about my, it's sad to say, but I don't think about my family and my kids and stuff like that. I think about like, is it gonna hurt? What's gonna, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want it.
It's gonna hurt.
I don't like pain either. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm just like, sometimes you get to that point and then you're like, no, it's gonna hurt.
So you don't think that's like selfish though to think that?
Oh yeah, it's definitely selfish. Okay. I mean, I can agree with that. Yeah,
because
sure.
I feel like you got people who love you. I mean, then you got kids, like, or people be having kids, or they have a spouse that loves them and all that, and it's just like. Sometimes when I think when people do that, I can't say, oh, I ain't gonna say they weak. They got to be strong as fuck because you got to be strong as hell to kill yourself. Like, just
Which
say, you
society,
know what?
Some society will let you think that it's weak, but yeah.
Hell nah, that shit's, well, that's strong as fuck because I'm weak.
Yeah.
I cut my, this shit hurt. Nope.
Yeah. No.
I'm out of there. I'm not doing this shit. Yeah. Like, I feel like, and I'm not like applauding it because I don't want people to do it, but it's just like, sure. When people kill themselves, I'd be like, you a strong individual. Like, you have to be mentally to bypass all the feelings that you feel like not saying fuck these kids, but fuck these kids, fuck everything, because at this moment, I want to do this.
Yeah, and I mean, I agree, like, it is a selfish thing, but in their minds, it's not. You know, like, in their minds and sometimes in mine, the world would be a better place without us or without me. But that's what we think sometimes.
Stop it.
That's the whole reason for this.
Stop.
We can't just stop it, but we're trying.
Well, you got friends, you got people.
Progress.
Yeah, that's the main thing. So so what is the hotline number that you can call?
You really gonna ask me on the spot?
Of course. That's what we do.
Well, I've never used it, so.
And you're not going to use it because you got lifelines, so it doesn't matter. You're just bringing awareness to everybody. So if you ever feel like you're down and out, you ever feel like you're at the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on just a tad bit longer. Because everything ain't as bad as it seems. If you ain't got a friend or family member to talk to, you can always call 1-800.
It's not.
It's not on there?
No. Well, okay, but it did say that you can text the phone number. The text is 988.
1-800-988?
No, just 988.
988?
Yeah, text 988.
So if you're ever down and out.
That is the suicide and crisis lifeline that is available 24 hours. with the language English and Spanish. I don't know if they give any other ones, but I mean, if you speak French, I don't know.
I'm about to say, what if they speak Japanese? Well, there is somebody to call, but there is also like find a friend, find somebody that you can like really genuinely like go to and talk to. You know, like I didn't mean to hurt her feelings, but hey, I did it, and now that I know, I ain't gonna say I ain't gonna do it again.
Well, I'm very sensitive, so
exactly. But I will say that I will like better. Okay, I'm not gonna go as hard next time, but you know I'm gonna tell you.
Just stop and think sometimes.
I be thinking. I just didn't think that day. I'm just like, nope, you no do.
I'm such a bad friend, guys.
And then you start, and then well, you wouldn't be on this podcast if you're a bad friend. Nobody came to see me, so you would not be on there.
Well,
but
I came to see you.
I do appreciate your time. I do appreciate y'all. So I appreciate all y'all for tuning in too.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Make sure you listen, like, subscribe wherever you stream your podcast. Streaming on all major platforms. Tell them bye, Crystal.
Bye, guys. Thanks for listening.
Thank y'all for tuning in too.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
I appreciate the likes, the feedback, and subscribes. Continue to support me and show love.
That's right, Otis. Whatever you say, Otis.
Hey, it's y'all world. I'm just living in it, baby.
Y'all ain't stupid. They coming to see me.